week where we've treated things like we've treated topics on Power Platform, and today we'll be looking at the last parts, the last topic on the 4-part series of the deep dive to Microsoft 365. We've listened to your feedback, we've gotten your feedback, and we get feedback of people saying they want us to delve more into the enterprise mobility plus security suite. Yes, that will be starting from next week. We also got feedback from people telling us they want a deep dive also into SharePoint, Azure B2B. Some part of that will be discussing on some parts of those topics next week also. We are glad to be here, and we're glad that even though we are in this phase and this COVID-19 phase, we still make our time to be on this call and to improve on our learning and to get one skill or the other. Thank you all for stopping by. Thank you once again. Today again on this call is Titi Lope Bilo that will be taking us on this ride together. Once again, Titi Lope works with Ashem Limited. She's an MCT, a Microsoft 365 subject matter expert. She's also a solution architect. She has been involved in a lot of projects, projects ranging from migration to deployment, hybrid, coexistence. So, coming on this call is a privilege to have her and then to do justice to a lot of this topic. We're really grateful to have you on the call, Titi. And then one of the few things I need to also make an announcement on this call is that I want to plead with everybody, every one of us, to please mute our mic so that we don't distract the presenter while she's doing a session. Also, we'll want to hear from you. Kindly fill the evaluation form. We don't hold some people have asked me whether we're going to hold any session over the weekend. No, we don't do any session over the weekend. I think we want to have the weekend for every one of us to also relax. However, you can visit our YouTube channel for sessions that you've missed. And like I said, this is just one part of the the MCTNAIJA community. This is just the M365 user group. There are other groups also doing simultaneous that are doing other programs in the community as we are doing also. When you visit the YouTube channels, you will see recordings from every other user group in the community. You see recordings from Azure, you see recording for Power BI. Yes, I know we had a discussion. We saw some feedback that people said they want us to delve into Power Platform. So we are not praying for the extension to continue, for the extension of the lockdown, but after next week, we will look at how we can bring up another topic on the Power Platform. However, we can also see we can squeeze in 1 or 2 topics on Power Automate or Power Virtual Agents next week. So with that, is still tentative, we'll let you know. So without wasting much of your time, I'm going to leave the floor over to Titi. Thank you once again for joining us. Titi, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you once again, and thank you, Jumoke, for the wonderful introduction. It's been an interesting journey, and today marks the last part of this series, where we can then from next week jump into a new series of and start learning again, or continue our learning from where we stop. Learning does not stop, learning continues. As long as we have breath to breathe, we'll continue to learn. So thank you once again. And then the topic today is we're going to be looking, just to wrap it up, we're going to be looking at managing the different Microsoft 365 plans that are available for any organization that are out there. Because you need to remember that there is no one solution, no single solution fits all organizations. No two organizations have two equal requirements. Every organization, every company, every user have their own unique requirement. Hence, Microsoft understand this. They understand this aspect of every organization, and then they are able to make provision for different plans that every company can look at based on their own requirements and subscribe to accordingly. So we are also going to be looking at the different support options that we have. So the fact that we have our services being hosted in Microsoft data center, what happens when we have support requests, and especially knowing that we do not have access to the backend like we used to do when we have our own server running in our data center. Exchange, for instance, if a user is not able to send email, if a user is not able to connect through their Outlook to their email, if a user is trying to install Teams on their computer and is not working, or they're trying to have meeting and is not working as it should, what supports do we have available for us or at our disposal that we can make use of? So I hope we will be able to pick one or two things from today's session, as always. So let's jump right or dive right into the topic of the day. Like I said earlier, this is our agenda. We are going to be looking at the different subscription or different plans that we have available to us for in Microsoft 365, and then we'll move a bit further to see the moment we buy a subscription or we subscribe to a particular service, how can we manage it? Where and where can we view our license? Do we have a view to the licensing? How do we manage the billing aspect? Meaning, what type of billing do we require? Do we need to always go to a partner? Do we need to always go to a distributor? We are going to break all of that down here for you today. And then we will now dive in on how you can open support cases to communicate or get assistance from either Microsoft or your partner whom you have purchased the Office 365 services from. Okay. So, like I said earlier, every organization, every business, every company have their own unique requirement. They have their different requirements. And based on their requirement, based on what they are able to identify within their own organization, that this is what their user needs to be able to do their work effectively, to be able to carry out their activity seamlessly without any problem or without any issue, without them having to go from Windows to Windows to be able to achieve one single task, without the organization at the same time losing control over the security of each of those tools that the users are using to do their work. So on the screen here, I just put like a summary of the different plans. These are not all the plans that are available but when we are talking about the enterprise organization, there are three major plans that we have under it. We have the F1 plan. We have that is majorly for the first line workers. First line worker, like mostly the field worker who doesn't require much. We have the E3 plan for like serious workers or middle class workers, the line managers and the rest. However, we can have some IT staff or middle class staff who still require as much the feature that are available in E5. So for the enterprise, we have three major plans, which is the F1, the E3, and the E5. Then we have under the small business as well, we have a different plan also for the small businesses. We have different plan for the education. We have different plan for the government parastatal, even the non-profit organization. Everyone have the plan that best suits them. including our individual self. So for instance, I can decide as a person, I can decide to want to buy Microsoft 365 just for me and my family members. So everybody have their own email, and right from there, from our home, we're doing things the professional way, even before each one of us go into our own different business environment. So the next slide is going to show you the breakdown of each components that we have under each plan. So for M365, if you look at this screen, something that is common to all of them is the operating system, because it is Microsoft 365. Remember that Microsoft 365 is a combination of 3 major suites of solutions, which are then further broken down into sub-suites with their own individual components under it, which is the Office 365, and then the EMS plus Enterprise Mobility plus Security suite, and the Windows operating system. So for the enterprise, the plan that we have there for Windows especially is the Windows 10 Enterprise. That's what is included for the enterprise plan. Also, you will notice, if you as you keep going, you will realize that E5 has the most features. If you are looking for the very advanced features in Microsoft 365, you will be going for E5. Talk about all the advanced security features in terms of cloud app security. Cloud app security allows you to be able to have a holistic view of how your users are accessing resources, making changes to documents, creating folders, logging in from where are they logging in from. This plan is available, or this feature is available only in E5. If you check also the information protection part of it, you realize that every plan rather have E1. But when we come to E2, just the E5 plan have E2 version of Azure information protection, like that. So an organization, before you make a decision, you need to consider, my user currently, they are using Windows 10. We need to roll up to, sorry, they are using Windows 7. We need to roll up to Windows 10. So you have to start looking at the plan. But thank God, every plan have Windows 10 in it. Now we need to come down to the Office application, for instance. So if you have some users that do not require Office to be installed on their desktop, meaning they are always on the go. They use their mobile devices all the time, and they open their email within their browser. So such users, they don't require Office to be installed on their desktop. So you want to go for things like F1 plan. And remember, the fact that we have enterprise plan does not mean, if you have users who does not even require features as much as what is in any of the enterprise plan, and what they need is just the small business plan, you can do what we call mix and match of each of these plans. So you can buy, for those that need, you have to do what we call profiling. You need to identify those that need all the features in E5, get the total number. You need to identify the user that need E3, you get the total number. Then that way you are able to say, okay, I will need this number of E5 license for so number of users, and so on and so forth. So you can mix and match plan. You don't have to you don't have to say, I'm going for E3, so that means all my users must use E3. It doesn't have to be. So just like the enterprise plan having their own Microsoft 365 or their own Microsoft 365 plan, we also have the small business as well. They are not left out in this discussion. They are not left out at all. So if you look at the screen also, you will notice that there are some things that are present, or that were present in the enterprise plan, that are not present here. That's because sometimes what the small business people or organization need, they don't need much, especially when they are looking at saving costs, especially when they're having budget constraint. But then we have some small business users or companies that need as much as what the enterprise. In fact, if you go to their present data center, those that are still probably on-prem, by the time you hear the number of servers, the number of applications, their processes, you will realize that some of them, they are even doing more than what some enterprise organizations do. So likewise, it doesn't mean because you're a small business and you require something higher in the enterprise, it doesn't mean you can't get it. You can get it. The main cap or the main thing that differentiates these two plans majorly, it's in the area of users. When you look at the enterprise plan, you can go to unlimited number of users. You can have unlimited number of users within your tenants. But for the small business plan, you have a cap of 300 users in max. So if you are that company that know that you are small business, or you categorize yourself as small business, but then you have about 500 users, you will want to consider subscribing to a plan higher and then mix the plan so that you can be able to cover all of your users and nobody is left out in the party. So now enough of each of the plan or profiling. Now let's move to how we can manage our subscription. When you have now subscribed to the services, how do you get a view to your licenses? How do you know when your license is about to expire? How do you know when your user or your license, you are running out? Yes, you are running out of licenses. How do you even know if the default storage that are made available for you, if they are being exhausted or they are almost running out of quota? And then you need to start making requests to extend or buy additional storage and add, or buy additional license, or even there's a feature that you don't have currently and you want to be able to add that feature. How are you going to be able to do each of these? So right from your admin portal, you can view all of those details. You can view detail about your licenses. You can purchase additional licenses. You can even change your billing plan, your billing method, your billing option. Whether before you were buying through distributor, through what we call the licensing program called volume license. But then now you want to move to something like a CSP, that's a program. I don't want to go into all of that detail. It's a topic for another time. Or then you want to be paying with your own card. Your card, you have enough money in it anyway, so you just want to pay directly. You don't want to restart, and you don't want any distributor or partner to start pursuing you. How do you go about it? You can do that right from the portal. And mind you, the same way you can do things from the portal, I mentioned that before in one of our previous sessions, that you can, as you have the GUI to manage all your services, likewise, you have the PowerShell for the lovers of scripts, those who love to run commands and those who love to code. You can use your PowerShell as well to manage everything around your subscription. So what and what can you do when it comes to managing? I've talked about you adding licenses. There are other things like you want to be able to identify which partner is selling or has sold this service to you. So you want to be able to add what we call partner of record just to identify that partner. Or maybe the partner that did the deployment for you. You want to be able to recognize them by adding their detail. Or you have one subscription that you've added before. You don't think you'll be needing that subscription any longer. What you can do is to cancel that subscription so that Microsoft will stop charging you. Because if you don't stop it, they will continue to charge you based on as you use. Remember, it's a cloud service and it's on a pay-as-you-go model. So if you don't want to use a service again, the best thing is to cancel the subscription so you don't continue to get billed. But the good thing is, maybe on a month-to-month basis, even though you have put your card and you have done a yearly commitment with Microsoft, the yearly commitment is giving you is like giving you a price, or locking down a particular price for you for the rest of, for that period that you said, like for a year. So meaning, even if the price go up, you might not be affected because you have communicated to Microsoft that you want to be billed on a yearly basis. Though your card is there, but they are removing your money on a monthly basis. They don't remove it all at once like that. And then managing the licenses. When you buy a Microsoft subscription, you need to specify the number of licenses you will need within your admin portal. And then after you buy the license, obviously you have to assign the licenses to your user. So we are going to show you a bit of where you can add your license. And then as your organization change, like I said, that's why you need to be able to know when you are running out of license so that you can add more licenses to it. Or when you are downsizing an organization, it could happen that maybe there's a merger and then there's a need also to downsize the number of users or the staff, the staff in that organization. Maybe they are having financial crisis and the rest. You need to also know that you can remove some licenses so that your users, you won't be paying for what you are not using. And also, when a user leaves an organization, you need to be able to know how you are going to be manage that license from the user who have left. So when it comes to billing, what can you do with billing? You can view things around your current purchase. If you are paying especially with card, you'll be able to see your next billing payment, the payment that is due that you're supposed to pay. Like I said, Microsoft remove on a month-to-month basis, so they don't remove upfront. So they will tell you this is the amount you are owing for the next month. So you'll be able to see it. If you are the type that you have your card in it and then your card has expired, or yes, if it has expired or there's no money again in it, that means Microsoft is not able to take their money or withdraw their money from your card at the appropriate time. So you, in that case, also you also see something like a PDF document in that particular billing page that tells you are owing this particular amount of money. And mind you, when you do your subscription, even if you don't pay for the next month immediately, Microsoft can allow you to continue using the service for the next 1 month without you paying and tell you that you are owing. Even sometimes they go beyond 1 month. But at the end of the day, before you can, when it gets to a point where you put money into your card, they will remove all that you have used because you have actually used the service. So they will remove all that you are owing them. Now, what about support? For support options, I said you have a way, you need to open support case. You're having challenges or some of your users are having issue. You have different ways by which you can open support cases or you can get support for Microsoft 365 services. One of it is your cloud service provider. There's a partner whom you buy the service from. They are your first level of contact for support. So if you go even to your support portal and you want to open, if I go now, because I'm using trial, I won't see that first option. Why? Because I don't have any, it's still trial and I don't have any partner tied to it. But the moment I put my paid subscription and I have a partner tied to it, as I want to open support or I'm typing, it's going to tell me already that I should contact my partner or my vendor so that they can assist me. But if the vendor cannot assist or I didn't get the support I need from the vendor, I can go further and still say, no, I want the support directly from Microsoft support staff, and which they have a whole lot of support staff in different companies, even in Nigeria here. We have the likes of Tech Expert, which organization is set up purposely to be able to ensure that their customers, that's Microsoft customers, they get support closer to them as soon as possible and they get their issue resolved. Then the last one there, you will notice it is Premier Support. This is majorly for enterprise customers. So there are times where you open support case with Microsoft, but they realize by the time they do their troubleshooting, their check with you, they realize that, oh, this whatever you're opening the support for is beyond the scope of Office 365. Like everything in Office 365 is working, but the problem is actually with maybe something else on your, maybe the Active Directory, for instance, is the one, the user in AD, or the AD is the one causing that particular challenge for that user. They may tell you the support is out of their scope. So in that case, if you have Premier support, that's advanced support from Microsoft, you'll be using that to rather call the Premier support team to help you look into the issue, and they will always assist you. Then there's a support community that is very robust for you to get information that you need at the right time. Now let's talk about SLA. What happened, though, is rare, but at some point it has happened where some services became unavailable for some user. Maybe like for a whole day, we've had a situation where some customers were crying, oh, our users cannot log into the portal. They are just getting thrown out. They are getting thrown out. They are getting thrown out. So for every service provider, every cloud service provider, one thing they will promise you is 99% uptime. And that is not different from the angle of Microsoft as well. So for your Microsoft 365 services, you have a 4.9 uptime uptime guarantee, that is, or uptime of service guarantee that is given to you. So in any event that you didn't get that 4.9 uptime, you can actually make your case with Microsoft. So that's where SLA come in. If they're telling you they will give you certain level of availability and reliability, and then they are not getting it, you should be able to get somebody, and they are so very much particularly concerned about their customer that they will look into it. If the problem is truly from their side, what they usually do is to, okay, we understand you have this problem. They can give you something back in form of, okay, maybe we'll extend your license or something. Then we have a situation like that. From my experience, I've seen such situation where a customer have to meet Microsoft. My user couldn't work for the whole of this day, and you know how much I lost in my business. So you have to compensate me. So Microsoft does that as well for their customer. Any cloud service that cannot give you such backing, they are not, I think it won't be a good, but although the requirement of every organization is different. Some customer or some organization, they might not be interested in uptime. They might just be interested in, well, anytime, if I can access it, I can access it. If I cannot access it. But then, if that is not what you can take, because it's something you need to consider within your environment, within your organization, you need to consult each other. This service we are getting, what kind of RTO, what's our RTO in terms of disaster, or in terms of if anything happen, if the service become unavailability, for how long can we allow such unavailability to affect our business? If it's going longer than that, the service provider should be able to do something. So like I said, we are going to show you also just how quickly you can open support requests within your Microsoft 365 services right from the admin center. And at the same time, when something happens and your users are crying that they can't do one or two things, you need to be able to know where to look. Where first? You need to take some steps first. Because by the time you open a case with Microsoft and somebody connect with you and they're asking you questions, you need to be able to answer them some questions. So in that case, you will have already gone to do your own due diligence to see that this problem is not that the user is having issue with internet. It's not that my Active Directory is acting up. It's not that the user computer is the one acting up. But I can see right from the portal, oh, Microsoft are the one they're having issue. So that can even back up your SLA claim that they are asking for, or they said they promised you this and they didn't give you at this time, it couldn't get it. But the moment Microsoft investigate and realize that the problem wasn't from their end and it's from your end, of course, they will tell you. Let's say the problem was actually internet connection that you did not know that one link has broken somewhere. In such case, they are not going to do anything. They will tell you, sorry, we can't help you in that case because the problem wasn't from their end. And like I said, I don't have much slides today. So I'm going to just be taking you through some demo. Lovers of script, lovers of PowerShell, just like you can manage your Office 365 subscription or Microsoft 365 services from the different portals that we walk around yesterday and the day before. You can also connect using your PowerShell. If you look at the screen, you will see that there are different PowerShell modules that you can use. If it's SharePoint you want to work with, it has its own PowerShell module. If it's Azure Active Directory you want to work with, it has its own PowerShell module. If it is Teams or Skype for Business you want to work with, it has its own PowerShell module. Even the Security Center, Security and Compliance services, you can do PowerShell into them as well. So we are going to just show you a little bit of each of those things. The next phase now is a demo. I don't want to run out of time, so I will be going into demo now. I'll stop sharing my screen. But do we have questions before I proceed? Before I proceed, I mean. So in the absence of no question, I will just jump right straight to showing.
I have a question.
Okay, sir.
Okay, the question is, I don't know whether it is digression. I just want to ask now. You said if you have license, for example, if you have multiple license stream, like you have an E3 and an E5, but on the E3 you have it on a domain, a separate domain, and you have your E5 on another domain. Is there a way you can use same domain for two different tenants with different stream of license?
No, you can't.
You can't.
If I get your question correctly, that you have two domains. Sorry, you have two tenants, right?
Yeah, I have two tenants with different stream of license. Yeah.
Okay, but you have one domain.
Yes, I have one domain. Yes.
No, you can't. A domain can only be tied to one tenant at a time.
I thought Microsoft was working on having you tied to multiple tenants.
Not yet. I've not heard of anything about that for now.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So I'm going to be showing you my desktop now. Okay. Sorry, what are you seeing? Can you still see my screen?
Well, we can see your admin center.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. Okay. So here we are. I'm going to, the first thing to show you is to explore the subscription page, how we can manage our subscription. So here, once you log into your admin center using portal.office.com and you sign in with your global admin, you will be, the next place you see, or the first screen you see, is this screen right here, your home screen, that give you at a glance of what's happening within your tenant. Then we can go on this left tab, left pane, I mean, you can see billing. Select billing to drop down. Under billing, you have different billings, you have different services. When you go here, this is where you can buy additional services and add to whatever you have before. Apology for that, it is been a while. I'll pull it down. Okay. Sorry. See, I will open it down for some time. It has timed out. Just go back. So we'll go back to billing and purchase services. It's a function of internet. Just give it some time to load. Okay, so here under purchase services, you can see all the available services. These are not your own subscription. These are services that are available that you can add in case you need. So for instance, I have E3, and that's Microsoft 365 E3 in my tenant here, plus EMS, that's Enterprise Mobility Suite. So before we come back there, let's go to products and services. So product and services will show me the services or the subscriptions that I have. I only have 2 of it, which is E3 and EMS E5. So here, EMS E5 in trial, and I have here Microsoft 365 E3 in trial. So if you look at the same screen, you will notice the other option that we have, like managing our subscription. We can decide to cancel. I can cancel this subscription if I want. And I can decide to, this install option is for you to install Office application on your computer, but I don't need that. I can view associated add-ons that are available. That's other services that I can add. When I click this, it's going to take me back to the purchase services page where I can add the different services that I have. Now look at this. For instance, if this my 30-day trial finish or it ends, I can easily extend it for another 30 days. Isn't that cool? So meaning I can use even this trial for the next 60 days without any problem. So if I go to this more option, before I go there, you have the option here to assign user licenses. The moment I click this, it's going to give me the list of all users that does not have license in my environment, or that does not have that particular license assigned to them. So you give them to me, and then I can assign the license to them accordingly. Now, if I click on this more option, under the more option is where I have the partner tab. So let's say, for instance, I want to link this trial tenant now to a partner, for instance, maybe Hashem. I will just have to get their partner ID and add like 118, I think 118,779. I can't remember the ID on my, but this is where you add the partner ID. So once you add the partner ID and you confirm, anytime you want to open support case, they will tell you to first contact your partner before they can attend, before but they will give you the other option that if you don't want to contact your partner, then you can contact support directly. So here you can also cancel your subscription. Now, let me go to licenses. Licensing will give me a table of all my licenses that I have with the one that has been assigned, or how many has been used, and how many is still available. So if I go to licenses, here I have it as total here of 250. It will give me the different that I have. Now if I click on each of the license, now you see it will give me the list of users that are currently assigned that license. All of these users, they have this license assigned to them. So you can export. Maybe you want to know how many users are even licensed within the environment for that particular subscription, you can export and view or make use of it. So we will go now to purchase services. We are going back to purchase services. Under purchase services, I can quickly add a new thing. Let me see if I can get cloud app security. I have cloud app security. What can I add? Project. So let me just add project. P1 is okay. You just click on it. When you click on it, if that project if you have trial option, you will see it here. All you need to do is say get free trial. So you notice that there are different plans. When I say get free trial, it takes me to where I'm going to select the number of user I want to get the trial for. But because it's trial, it may not add, because normally there's a number that you are supposed to, when you sign up for trial, you get 25 user license directly. So it's the same. But let's assume it's a paid subscription. The moment I click that, it will ask me. So I will need to I'm the one that will make a decision of how many user license I want to add. I'm not going to continue. I'll just cancel. So I don't know what's wrong. My internet is beginning to slow down. Okay, maybe while that is loading, okay, it's coming now. Oh, let's jump to something else. And the only thing I can jump to, because I'm still have to be working in the portal, is to say, okay, I want to show you how you can connect to PowerShell. Okay, it's taking time. Let me share my PowerShell screen for now. Okay. We can all see the PowerShell screen, right?
Yes, ma'am. I can see it. I can see your screen.
Okay. All right. So, just like the same way you will assign a license to a user in Office 365 admin portal, the same way you remove a user license, delete a user from the admin portal, you can at the same time connect with PowerShell to Microsoft 365, any of the service that you want to manage as at that time, and start running command. So there are things you need to do before you can use your normal window PowerShell. You need to install some modules that are required, and then the version of your PowerShell must be from 3.1, version 3.1 and above. So you have the option of using your normal window PowerShell, or you install there's a portable PowerShell module that is made available by Microsoft that you can install. So what I do is I just make use of my Windows PowerShell. But before I can make use of my Windows PowerShell, I need to install modules, the modules for the service I want to connect to. If you are looking in front of you right now, you will see a command that said install module, then the module name is what? Azure AD. So this will allow me to connect to Azure Active Directory only, and be able to manage my user within Azure Active Directory, manage users and groups, and even subscription or services. Then this is for other online services. So you need to install the module accordingly. So for Skype for Business, you have to download something, a little package, and install. So if I'm to connect right now, I will need to get credential, that's put in my credential. PowerShell is a cool thing for those of us that are new to it. Is a very powerful tool that can help you go even to areas or location where you cannot get to from your normal GUI. For you to use it, you need to be able to know certain syntax, how the PowerShell syntax work. So in the sense that your commands, most of the time, when you are using a command, you make use of what we call verb and noun. So you need to know your verb and noun. Now back to basic. Your verb and noun, you need to know it very well. The first thing that always come up is what? Is install. Install is an action word. That's my verb. Now something must come after it, which is a noun. Install module. Install what? A module. Then I cannot put the name of the module that I want to install. So now for me to connect, the first thing I need to do is to call Microsoft 365 or Office 365 to give me the sign-in page. So I can either type it, but I have some cheat sheet very close to me here. So I'll just cheat a little. So the first thing I'm going to do is to call the login screen of Microsoft 365. And how do you do that? You are saying, what I want to do is I want to set a variable. So I'm going to call Office 365 login screen, put in my credential and store it into this variable called $user credential. So I want to get the credential screen, put in the credential, and then store it in this variable. So I can make reference to that variable later. So in this case, I have my global admin account, which is john@chaville20.onmicrosoft.com. Oh. And then I'll supply my password. So it has accepted the credential and store it inside this $user/cred. The next thing I need to do is to create a session. And which session, I need to also tell which particular service I want to connect to. So here is the next command that is helping me to create a session. I will create a session, new PowerShell session. Which session do I want to create? Configuration, a configuration session with the name Microsoft.exchange. And from which URL? I've specified the URL of the particular configuration container that I want to call. So there, that is outlook.office365.com/PowerShell. That's what I'm going to call. Now you notice I have the same value or the same variable that I set up here in the first command. So I'm telling this one because it will also prompt me again for another credential. Instead of it to prompt me, I'm telling it, go get the credential that I put or I store inside this variable and make use of it. So I'll just hit enter. Now, after I've created my session, I need to, oh, sorry, that's error. I think there's something.
You didn't run your PowerShell run as administrator.
Oh, sugar.
Saying access is denied.
I did not. So, sorry about that. I'll have to close it and relaunch. So I've changed it now. I'll just quickly run the first command to call because this is a new window. When you close a window, an existing PowerShell window, that session automatically closes. So I'll have to start again by setting my variable for my credential. So now I can run the second one now. Just give it some time for it to load. She's also taking some time. I think this is a function of internet. It's not supposed to take this long. Oh, I can't abandon this now. But then, error again, access denied. I'm thinking, because I changed the password for that user, I'm thinking I'm not typing the right password. So, because I still have some other things to show you. Remember, we're doing something before we jump right here. We just show you the other command that you need to run. Assuming it connects and went successfully, I will need to run this other command, which is to import the module. When I run the import module, import the PowerShell session that I've just created, you notice also I'm querying the variable that I created for PowerShell session. So it's going to query it and then call it up. After that, I will now connect to services. Connecting to services, that's using this other credential. That's using this. You notice also is also picking the variable for the credential that was stored earlier. Otherwise, I will get prompted 3 times before I can connect. So in order for me not to start getting prompted, I will just already store my credential. That is how to connect. I wanted to show you how you can assign license, pull up your subscription, but for now, because of time, I don't have the time to start troubleshooting this access the 19 right now. So let's jump to something else that we were showing before the screen or internet started misbehaving. So I'll go back. I'll go back to my screen now. Okay, so we are back. Oh, I've disabled the new this so that we don't take much time. Let's continue. Now we were going to purchase services before to add we've added the service. We went to licenses. Let's just go straight to billing. Billing, like I said earlier, this is where you see if you are owing any money. This is where you are going to see the detail about how much you are owing for either the previous month that you have not paid for or the next month. So you will see it here. And if I click this payment method, it automatically takes me down to payment method. I can add different payment methods. I can add credit cards, payment option. I can add, I think there's an option for bank draft or something. About 3 options are available. So I can use credit card if I want. So because I came here, is expecting, or because I pick it from under here, is expecting just card. I will just cancel. If I go directly to payment method itself, I will have more options. Now, billing notification. The billing notification is very important. This is how you get to keep watch on your license, how your license is going, whether you are running out of licenses or whether you are owing, whether you need to reduce. This is where you get it. And who get notification? Users with global admin rights get notification automatically for billing. What if I want to add other people that are not global admin to be able to get notification? That will allow me or require me to go and pick a user. Remember, we said we have something that is called role-based access control, even in Office 365 or Microsoft 365. So I will go to a user property under role here. I can edit the role. And I will select customize administrator, then I can select billing. You will only be having information about billing and licenses. That is all. You won't have access to anything else. So this is how you can keep with your finance department in tab of how you are using the licenses within the organization without giving them access to anything else. And that's how you can also give other role other than the global admin to other users, depending on your organizational security requirement. So enough of that under billing. Let's move quickly to support. I think, let me turn on the new, yes. So now, for us to open a support case, I will just show all because it's limited. Now this is support here. So, and this is how you open support request. So if I open now, maybe my user's Outlook is not connecting. I start typing Outlook client not connecting. To Exchange. So what happened is, as I'm typing, I'm supposed to, I don't know, I think it's still my internet. I'm really sorry about this. I don't know why it's doing this night. So as I'm typing, it's supposed to already give me options or give me suggestion of, do you mean this? Have you looked at this? Which when I open will take me to either a community or an article that has been written for that particular problem. But then if I notice that whatever they are talking about in that article does not resolve my problem, you will have the other option under that says, sorry, what enabled that is this support assistant bot. So this is like a bot, that auto bot that give you those information. So if I see that, oh, it's not resolving my problem, I will have the other option that say, it didn't resolve my problem. Then it will give me the option to say, I want to call the support person, which I'll put, which I want them to call me, or I want an email. So if I want them to call me, if I choose that option, it will ask me for my phone number. I will put it, and they will give me a call back in like 30 minutes to 1 hour. I think now it's less. Then if I want them to send email to me, I can put in my email address and even email address of another person, so that they can send to me and the other person, and any one of us can pick it up. Now, when they connect with you, they don't just support you, they want to be sure that you have right to be able to carry out that support for that tenant. So they will be asking you a few questions like the name, what is your admin account, or what is your name? So by the time they check and realize you are not an admin user for this tenant, they will tell you they can't support you, just in case it's somebody else. And especially if your name does not even tally with the company, they will tell you, sorry, we can't assist you. So you will need to get somebody who have account and who have the right to open support case from within the tenant to be able to use to make your case with Microsoft. So what happened, I will just quickly show you now a user, when you, or let me show you quickly how you can do little things by yourself. So if you have support open, support case open, or request open, this is where you view your existing support request that you have opened before. You see them here, and then you are able to either refer to them, or you are able to even say you want to close it. Either they are active, you see the status, whether they are active or they've been closed, and the date they were created. Now, what if it's a user that is complaining that email is not delivering and the rest? How can you even quickly confirm their claim that email is not delivering or they are having issue? Some user can tell you, we send a mail, or somebody send me a mail, it has not delivered. I can either quickly come to my Exchange Online admin portal here, and then select mail flow. Under my mail flow, you have what we call message trace. So the message trace, you can do this also. If you notice, it said it has also been moved to Security and Compliance Center. That one is even looking more beautiful. But this is, I come here because it's more straightforward and I can quickly see what I want to do here. So when you are searching, you have to select based on, you can do different date range or time range for you to search for that particular user. Select the date, set it as it is, and then you can select the sender if you know the sender of the email that they are trying to receive. And if you don't know the sender of the email, just add the recipient, that user who complained. When I add maybe Santiago, for instance, or John Miller, he has complained that he has not received any mail today. Let me check what's happening. If truly he has not received a mail today, I can check. The moment I check, click search, select the user and click search, it's going to bring me to this page. So if that user has ever received email, you will see the email. And there are times where you have to check the status. So you will see either it is delivered or it is pending. When you say pending, the mail has not delivered. So you can select that email and click the edit button or the detail button, that pencil button, to see more information about that email. So it will give you a little history of you received the mail from so with so IP, and he passed the mail to so, but then maybe the mail has been quarantined by the anti-spam. That's Exchange Online Protection in Microsoft 365. It will tell you, you will know. Or if the mail was detected as spam and then still delivered to the user's mailbox, it will tell you the email was delivered into user's junk. You will see it right here, delivered into user's junk folder. So you can easily tell the user, oh, please go and check your junk folder. The email has been delivered to you. Or if you didn't deliver, it will tell you. You might be complaining that, oh, maybe the sender, their IP address is blacklisted. You will see every information here. So you can select it and view more detail and be able to quickly support your user even before you say you want to contact Microsoft or your vendor. So that's how quickly you can trace, or you can quickly trace on your own email services of how it's getting delivered. But there are some times, especially if you have enabled what we call quarantine within your environment. And where do you see that? You go to protection, rather. When you go to protection, if you have enabled quarantine within your organization, this is the quarantine tab. So any email, instead of email, what we advise people is, instead of you allowing EOP to discard all email, including probable, when it is probable, likely spam, it's probable or likely spam, it means it's possible it is not spam. Because what is spam to a financial organization may not be spam to a construction company. So it's possible it is not spam. So that way you will see it there, and then you can select it and release it to the user, and even go as far as saying, okay, add this user's, this sender, add it to the list of trusted lists in Microsoft 365, so that such subsequent email from that user won't be getting quarantined but delivered to the user directly. So this is how quickly you can troubleshoot things around email. So what about things around account? User cannot sign in. So when users are crying that they can't sign in, you have this health, service health, especially if you have Azure AD Connect within your organization. So you can come and quickly check here if anything is happening. If you look here right now, SharePoint is having, there's a problem with SharePoint. And what's the problem? All site owners are experiencing issue editing. Let's open. They're experiencing issue editing sites via the site information panel in SharePoint Online. And they will give you the history or brief detail of what and what they have done, and the history of how all the updates, that's how much Microsoft take transparency into consideration. They are so transparent, I would say sometimes to a fault, because the moment a user sees this one, they just, oh, so it's the fault is from Microsoft, but it's good. So you as a user, you know that you are not kept in the dark. You are being given feedback on everything that is happening within your services. So you can also be able to advise your users accordingly. I think we have been able to work around. And like I said yesterday, when it comes to managing licenses, when a user leaves the organization, you want to be careful about removing the license for that user. Because the moment you remove the license for the user, take for instance, this is Ami Santiago. Ami left the organization this week, but the requirement in our organization, in our company, says we have to preserve their mailbox, especially. We have to preserve it for the next 6 months before we can get rid of it. After 6 months, if nobody requests anything from that mailbox of Ami, then we can get rid of it. And some organizations will say no. So how will you do this? Before you remove the user's license, you can connect, you have different ways by which you can back up the data. You can either connect Outlook and export the user mailbox to PST, or even through PowerShell. You can use PowerShell to export the user mailbox to PST and put it in a safe location. But then if you don't want to do that, there's what we call shared mailbox in Microsoft 365. It's free. Microsoft will not they won't bill you anything. It has 50 gig storage size for every shared mailbox you create. But then where some organizations, before you start getting happy that, oh, so shared mailbox is free, I can start using that for my user. No. Any user who wants to access a shared mailbox must have a primary mailbox. So Titi now want to access mailbox of Ami who have left. Titi must have her own license for her to be able to access that shared mailbox. So what we will do is, before we delete the user, or before we remove the license, we will need to go to mailboxes, select Ami. Ami is already selected. And then here, if you scroll down, you see convert. So you convert that mailbox, you convert it to shared mailbox. When you convert it finish, you can then give permission, that's users who can access it. They will be able to access it and receive email on behalf of that mailbox. So if I go now, the Ami is no longer here. It has moved automatically to shared mailbox. Now, because I've done this one, I can safely go to Office 365 portal and go and remove the license from the user. And I will know that the user's license or mailbox is preserved. That's one way. Another way is to use what we call litigation hold or discovery, advanced discovery, e-discovery search, to search that mailbox content or maybe a particular thing you want to hold on it and put a legal hold on it. So when you hold it, it will also preserve the data. You can then relieve the license. So I think I've come to the end of my session. So at the end of the whole thing from this first series, we were able to get a brief introduction into Microsoft 365 services, what led to the creation. In fact, when it started with Office 365, we were able to get how Microsoft came up with the different plan for organization. We were able to see the different admin centers from where we can manage different services. We were able to talk about how we can run effective, encourage our users to collaborate effectively with all the tools available to us. And we're able to see how we can open support, manage our licenses, and carry out certain support activities. So that brings me to the end of the whole series. Thank you very, very much for listening. Thank you for your time all this while. I really appreciate, or we appreciate, and we hope you continue to stick with us for the next interesting series of sessions that are coming up in the nearest future. Thank you, and do have a lovely day. Bye.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. Yeah. So please, before you leave, kindly fill our form. Thank you, Titi, for a well-detailed session and very informative. I used to say I've not seen a young person that's so passionate about teaching and talking like Titi. I'm sure a lot of us have been able to get one thing or the other. You'll be able to gather one knowledge or the other, and I'm sure when you take this knowledge back to your organization, it's going to be beneficial to them. So please do me a favor, fill our support I mean, our evaluation form, because I had a lot of support from us, so I'm saying support now. So please fill our evaluation form. And if you have any question, if you still have any question, let me see if there's any question on the, we are willing to answer us, to answer you. Also, please go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to it. You will see a lot of these recordings there that you can make use of. Thank you so much for everything, and thank you for this time. Do have a blessed weekend. And then on Monday, we'll start with another interesting series on the enterprise mobility plus security suits. Yeah. And then in between, we also want to have a session on the Azure Sentinel. Is a new security feature that comes into Azure that gives you a unified interface for you to be able to manage your security concerns and all of the security features of your organization. So we're happy once again to have you, and then thank you for stopping by. Like I said, do have a blessed weekend, and then stay safe.
We have TT's contact.
Sorry, somebody wants to have TT's contact, so I'm going to put that on the yes. And I think on LinkedIn also, she will share it with you on the chat window. TT's contact is TT Lokpa. Am I free?
Yes, please.
Okay, so
you.
a LinkedIn contact. I mean, TT, you might be sharing that later on. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, I will do that.
For the time. So bye bye everyone.
Bye. Thank you.